It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, YK in the building.
Good morning, Mariah.
I wish somebody could capture how you looked before they took off the glass. You look so
like the color just
clean and beautiful, and you know, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Let me take a picture of you. How are you doing, YK?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I went to Abeokuta over the weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
Lagos Ibadan Expressway.
Fun.
Lagos. When I hear somebody going Lagos Ibadan, I get scared.
I don't think that side of the road. I don't think. Because there was this rumor about cows in Abeokuta. So I saw Chief Onu and I asked him, he said, what had happened is those Fulanis, they've been there with their cows for a long time. And then somebody started stoning them. That's why the cows now took off.
Okay.
You know, so...
I hope they were able to retrieve those cows eventually.
I don't know. I didn't ask. But... So that's the video we saw, you know. So and it's not even in Abeokuta; it's the outskirts, you know, where there is bush.
Yeah.
So you know, I think we should just take everything we read on social media with a pinch of salt, and you know, use your own brain first before you use.
Yeah, since that NSAS thing, I don't. When I see any story right now, I don't even post it. I don't reshare until I am totally sure, because a lot can happen, you know. And
no, if I see something like from that newspaper, I don't want to name the name, we're not supposed to name names, one online paper, and I can verify with my eye, then I will repost it. I will repost it on, because like the one I did on Sunday, I wanted to really wanted to rant, because I'm very, very pained. He was having this big rally with people without masks. He was only on a mask. I was like, come on, and you are closing us down. But on a lighter note, please vote for my father.
Yeah,
so we need to keep voting. I said I won't forget today.
Yes, we have to keep voting. We keep forgetting to keep voting, but I know YK reminded us last week and we voted again. So please, let's continue to vote for. And he's doing what he's number one. He's stopped the
He's
charts.
number one, you know, from the bottom.
Yeah.
Nigeria know they carry last. You know they
That's
carry
much
last.
we know. Both local and international, Nigerians all over the world are all of this. How are you doing,
I'm very good. Grateful to God. Thankful for life. 2 weeks ago, I got colos from my colo.
Yes.
And I haven't posted online. I'm really sorry, but I really appreciate. I haven't posted, and they are really beautiful. YK Zone is in my house. Colo is like a piggy bank safe, but our own local way. Very beautiful, very artsy.
I'll do a video today. I forgot. He sent me some too.
Yeah.
And something YK would like.
Yeah, I did for YK, yes. YK Zone is my husband has
coins now.
No, you just
I squeeze the money. So okay, let me just share this. I told my kids that if they do well in their assessment, and my son is shouting that he has 20, like 3 subjects, they're supposed to get money for each subject they do well in, so then they put it in their colo. So we'll squeeze the money and put it inside the colo.
So were you people born when there were coins in Nigeria?
YK?
Did you people meet coins?
Yes, I did. I spent coins.
Yeah, there was one naira. I saw 1 naira coin now.
Yeah.
No,
1 naira.
You were not born.
I saw 1 naira note.
There was 50 kobo.
Yes, 50 kobo.
You didn't see 5 kobo.
I didn't see 5.
You didn't see 10
There's a brown one.
You didn't see 1 kobo.
Yes, now.
You didn't see 1 kobo.
Okay, maybe you're older than me.
Mariam, you are older than me, but
510.
you shouldn't say this.
No, why not? There was a brown one. We used to use it to buy adwa. Adwa was one kobo.
The brown one is 1 kobo.
I know.
There are 2 brown ones, half.
Okay, I didn't see her.
The half kobo, 1 kobo.
Then there's one with a circle inside. I did not meet it, but I knew Anini is
that
what they
circle
call
was pence.
Okay.
I met 50 kobo.
Yes, I used 50 kobo. I used 1 naira paper notes. I used the 1 naira paper notes regularly.
How are you doing, Mariam?
Those ones are not money.
I'm fine, thank you.
Man, don't go down by that.
We have shout-outs here.
Yes, we do.
Please, let us greet our people, though.
So our producer is her husband's Umi. It's her husband's birthday today. His name is Abdul Omokowa.
Abdul Omokowa.
Omokowa. And also to Mishe Jaisimi, who's her niece, is their birthday today. So happy birthday,
Happy birthday.
Abdul. And thank you for, your wife is doing well. We're taking care of her. Yes. And then we have another lady. Her name is, I don't know if anyone took it yesterday, Koka Temi Tope. Her son, Oli Wakorede Victor Koka, turned 14 on Monday yesterday, and he's the baby of the house. Happy birthday, Oli Wakorede. Yes.
I have one here from Queen's Delight. It says, Mrs. Funke Adeyeye, I wish you a happy birthday today. I think it's her mother-in-law. It's the 60th birthday today. Queen Pedro, she says that's her name. So she's wishing her mother-in-law happy birthday. Let me try to see if I can scroll down and get a few more. So, it's my friend Gloria Ojekwe Uche's 50th tomorrow, 23rd of February. Is that today's date? That's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, so I'll do that tomorrow. Okay, so I mean, I think there are a few others, but anyways, there's so many. I forgot to check my messages. But thank you so much for sending us messages. We'll try as much as possible to read the ones we have as early as we can. Anything else?
Yes. She was talking about her kids and saving money. My mom was saying to my son that she would pay him to do house chores. And he was like, how much will you pay me? She says, I'll pay you 1,000 naira every day. Then he turns to his sister. He says, I'll pay you 500 naira.
To do the job for me.
To do the job.
Oh, your husband,
so either you choose 500 naira every day or 2,000 naira a week.
Wow.
I'm like,
negotiation.
I do not have,
it's
not even that. The fact that he understands that he can still earn this money without doing the work and make some money. I did not have that sort of thinking. Even now, I struggle with that sort of thinking.
No,
I mean, it's not something that comes naturally to
my
him.
kids have been having their piggy banks since Elizabeth was born. So when I got this colo, I broke that one because it was the plastic thing that we made in the house. And we had about 88,000 naira.
Wow.
I mean, with everything together. So I now divided 88,000 naira into 4.
Okay, so
and now
one colo that
we used to put everything together because now the new ones has their name. So I now divided 88,000 into 4, and then I put each in each colo, and then said any money you now get, only look if you earn your money, go and add it to your own colo. So by the time you are going to secondary school, whoever has the largest will get a special gift.
Oh, fantastic!
My brother's daughter broke her own a couple of weeks ago. She had thousands inside.
Dollars?
No, naira.
When you say thousands, you think of dollars.
The boys, they had like 13,000.
But she had much more.
Had like 40 or 50 or something thousand. She was feeling so rich.
What we did was that, what we did was at the end of the year, the kids take what they have saved to their accounts. Wow. They're so excited about that.
All right, that's all we can say. We've bantered today. Let's go and break. When we come back, we're going to have to breeze through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. Our ordeal inside bandits' camp by freed passengers. Gunmen kidnap monarch, lecturer in Rivers. How economy climbed out of recession by minister. Row over asset, Okrocha attacks Uzodinma. Jenkos to get cheaper gas. AK-47 Autumn accuses Bauchi governor of backing terrorism. Okay, which story are we going to take?
Major headlines.
Yes, go ahead, Waike.
The
passengers,
53 of them were abducted and taken into the bush, and they said the men were beaten mercilessly every day, and they made them walk for 24 hours to their destination, and they moved them every day. Even though they made them walk that way, they still moved them every day. And then they were telling them, they were threatening them, if it's money we need, if you don't pay, we'll kill you. I mean, there were children there, women, nursing mothers. They took all of them.
Okay, Mike, I have to pause you for a quick second. I'm told I have to go on a quick break. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So unfortunately, we had to wrap up very soon. But I wanted Waike to finish that story of the ordeal of the...
Yeah, they said they had AK-47s. Yeah. There were over 1,000 bandits. And
they're feeding them
rockets. They had rockets, yes. They were feeding them on their palms, giving them the same water as the cows to drink. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
And Waike, what was not interesting, more painful was that when they were escorting them back out, they had to follow them all the way to they were handed over because they said that another group might kidnap them.
Can you imagine?
So they have we have different groups
of factions of bandits.
Now, can you imagine if they have like even just only 5
What really struck me was
5,000 people.
For me, what struck me about that story is just how dense that forest area is, that they were able to move them from place to place, and also possibly how unaware of, if our military is really quite conversant with that forest
Shegumi
area.
said that they know that they can see them through
the aerial. Okay.
He said they know. He said that, but they don't want to attack them because
of casualties.
They don't want to cause additional chaos like they did in 2000.
Shegumi was also very sympathetic to them. Says that these people are just criminals turned to bandits, and we don't want them to become Boko Haram. So let us be careful when we talk to them. Let's manage it so that they don't become Boko Haram. That's what Shegumi.
With thousands
he said we should even criminalize them.
Yes, that bandits are not criminals.
He said that they are. He said they just go on reprisal attacks. When maybe one of them is killed, they will now go. He said they will pass many villages, but they will go to the village where they killed their own person, and then they will now ransack the village. He said if they were criminals, they will be stealing. They're not stealing. They are just killing.
It's interesting how we all respond to this kind of thing. I mean, Bauchi State Governor, it's also in the papers, not Bauchi State, Autumn Benue was accusing the Bauchi State Governor, saying that I think you're part of these people. Because for you to say that they're protecting themselves by carrying AK-47, that he has even received a letter of threat saying that they're going to kill him. So it said that if anything happens to him, we shouldn't look too far. I mean, this is such a pathetic
and then
story.
He tried to. I was watching a TV program where he tried to justify his speech, saying about the carrying AK-47. It's not that. He's just saying they need to protect themselves.
Okay, let's just find another story. I'm not sure. The ladies, Buhari governors meet on fuel pricing framework on Thursday. COVID-19, 4 million vaccines to arrive soon, says federal government. Southeast governors wade into Ozodinma Okorocha feud. I have the story. I don't know which story you want to take.
Now, I want to take the COVID story, which is the Presidential Task Force is advising Nigerians to please be careful not to acquire these vaccines from the black market, and that they promise that they will do everything possible to make sure that we gain access to only safe and very effective vaccines. And the name of the one that, that had been approved by NAFDAC for Nigeria to use, the AstraZeneca vaccines. So the government says that about 4 million initial doses will be coming to Nigeria very soon. You know Nigeria, and I would say very soon. We don't put a date, but it's very soon. And we should be patient. And I think it's good advice because many people want to find other ways of getting these vaccines.
In one paper, they actually said end of February.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
End of February. But meanwhile,
today is the 23rd.
They are bringing in only 4 million.
For now.
For 200 million people.
For now. Okay, let's not assume
it's batch.
It's first batch. They'll be in batches.
Like 4 million.
It's not free now. All Marani, they're going to pay for it. It's not free. Yes, they're not giving us for free. So
initial.
So it's the same way they told us they were going to do 2 million tests.
Anyway, I need to take this other story on field.
We haven't done 1 million.
Let me take this story on field because there was a meeting and the Honorable Minister of Labour, Mr. Ngige, was saying that NNPC says they are import dependent, and the regulation is import dependent, but they are going to be doing bulk purchasing, and they're also getting discounts on their on the dollar. So they have the capacity to buy more. And when they buy more, they're able to have it cheaper compared to in the private marketers. Okay. So that should be able to give them a better framework for how much to set the pricing for Thursday. So they're going to have a meeting on Thursday. I mean, that's the difference between...
I just want to hear that they're not paying subsidy.
Yeah, they're not paying subsidy. But because they're NNPC and they're buying in bulk and they have a better discount from the federal government, they have the capacity to buy more and then get discounts. So we shouldn't, according to them, they're hoping that the framework they come up with will give us a more affordable pricing structure for petrol. And similarly, I think for Gencos, they're also saying they're going to be discounting the amount of gas. Like right now, they pay 2 naira 50 kobo for the gas, but they're going to reduce that to 1 naira 50 kobo. So hopefully that will also reflect in the amount of tariff we pay going forward. So hopefully we see some change. And this is the meeting they had with Labour. Remember the President Labour was saying us yesterday, they had a meeting with them yesterday. So let's see what happens by Thursday. We have to run off. Let's take another paper if we have a few more minutes.
Okay, there's a story that I wanted to take. The Senate plans the the story of the NDDC and the corruption that took place within NDDC, especially concerning 6.25 billion naira COVID palliative that was mismanaged. Now, the Senate has called for Ponde, the former interim chairman of the NDDC to come up over and over again, and they haven't. So they're saying that they have spoken to the IG, Inspector General of Police, to issue a warrant for these people to come and explain how they spend 6.25 billion. We don't have money in this country. We can't afford to be mismanaging, and we need to punish people that are culpable of mismanaging our resources. We need to have punishments, convictions, and jail term.
Right. So unfortunately, contrary to what the story took like yesterday, the Kagara students are yet to be freed, and they've identified that they are in Kaduna State and in the I think Bewingwari area, and they're still having a conversation to see if they can get them out as soon as possible. Well, we pray for their safe return.
Yes.
Okay, let's go on a break now. When we come back, we go on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, so sit down.
Thanks for staying with us. So, a Nigerian young lady recently shared a video where she cried out after allegedly some people, a man actually, slapped her, sexually assaulted her in Ajah area of Lagos State. The lady said that at the park, people were laid around her. No, nobody actually came to her help. So they took her item, an item to her, and they said that somebody, I'm trying to get the story right.
She had gone to the park to send items to her mom.
Yes, exactly.
So while she was there, somebody came and harassed her, and he touched her breast, and and she slapped him. I think slapped his hand off. I'm not sure of that. Slapped him off. He had touched her breast, and then he proceeded to beat her while everybody just stood watching while he got away with it.
All right, so let me call for the video so we can see exactly what happened.
Because I haven't seen the video.
I was going to the park to deliver something to my mom just now when one guy from this park right here, the guy assaulted me. He asked me if I was going. I said I am not going. The next thing, this guy started pressing on the road and hitting my hand. When I slapped the guy back, the guy started beating me. He fell me on the floor and hit my leg. He was pressing my neck. He almost strangled me here. And everybody here, all these men is everything. Look at what I was going to deliver to my mom. I was going to deliver this bag to my mom when this guy assaulted me on the road and started beating me for no reason.
Now, so the reason why we thought it was important to take this story is because her story is a story a lot of people can relate to, especially in Lagos when you go into markets, you go into crowded places, young girls are harassed. And not only, to make it worse, nobody often comes to their aid because, hey, what, are you the only person? Are you the only person that they are touching? I mean, I have been in that situation where you go to Tejoshua Market and they are touching your breast, touching your bum, pulling you, Balogun Market, the whole works. So the conversation now is, how do we change this trend? Because it's a young girl trying to defend herself. The guy touched her and she slapped him, maybe because she's heard that, and listen, it's not like before where you just walk away. Respond to him. So do we tell this girl, no, when they touch you, just walk away? Or how does a girl like this get help? That's really the conversation I want to have this morning.
For me, I think it's just so sad. I just think it's so sad that nobody came to her aid. Nobody. What am I going to... Because I would react the same way. If you touch my breast, I will slap you. Get out. It's my breast, not your own. What gives you the right? So what we have to do now is address those people that watched him beating her.
Good. And
do nothing about it. Eh? Maybe we all read Bible. Am I my brother's keeper? Or you all read Bible? Because I don't follow you to read it, but I've read it before. Am I my brother's keeper?
So, so there are many shades of wrong here. One, we need to get to, from the introduction, Mariah also mentioned, I think it was like 4 years ago, that I was really, really moving a campaign against objectification, how you go to the market, people just feel like they can touch you and harass you because you're wearing something short or all of that. And in this case, the girl said someone propositioned her, and she said she wasn't interested. And the man went ahead to touch. You know, the audacity that we have accepted in our society for men to feel like they have a right to hit you. What do you mean? You look like you are interested. She said no. And then when things escalate, we look away. And we didn't used to be like that, but we're gradually going to that point where people just mind their business so much to the detriment of it could just be you tomorrow, it could be your daughter tomorrow, it could be your sister tomorrow. If something is going wrong, speak up. Even if there's no police officer or somebody there that you can shout out to, go there and say, why you they beat them? What till you do you? That's the society we grew up in. We don't mind our business. That's the way we are. We raise each other up. We protect one another, but we're losing that. So you see people go around, they'll just carry their phone, record what is happening, but they don't speak up. If that girl had been pushed and she hit her head and died, there would be a video clip showing what happened, but nobody stood up to protect her. And we need to stop that.
You know, the thing is, first of all, I want to say thank you to her for making that video. Because I remember as a young girl when that thing happened to me, I just froze. I didn't do anything. Like, there were about 4 boys, and they were walking towards me, and each one of them grabbed my breast as they walked past me, you know, as a teenager then. And there were people just sitting by the roadside and they were watching. A few people said, sorry. And that was it. You know, and then I don't think I ever said anything to anyone because I felt ashamed. I felt like I was the one at fault. Yeah, I felt like I was the one even at fault. Like, what could I have done to have attracted that? But the part that is most scary is that nobody even got up to even find out what happened. At least even if you were not aware that he touched her, but to see someone beating up somebody else, you should have gotten up. And then we have this situation in India where women are actually raped in front of people and nothing happens. And that is not where we want to go. So they've gone to the point where when they catch you and prosecute them, they hang them. But you know, I used to always say that this can never happen in Nigeria. That people would harass other people and there will be no one to stand up for you. And it just seems like that's what's happening. You
know what, there was a gentleman that I know that used to do our curtains back then. He used to work in Tejoshua Market. And I don't know, when he came to install one of our curtains back then, he was having this kind of conversation. And he said that, listen, the reason why people sometimes don't help is because if you try to help, that moment happens, the girl goes. But the community, the boys there gang up against you because you've embarrassed them by doing that. So they're also trying to protect themselves. But so I think now the onus should be on government to ensure that we do the same way we are campaigning. Wear your face mask. All these little campaigns, the Ministry of the Ministry of Women Affairs. These are things you need to do where you have billboards. You have radio radio jingles telling people how to behave. Young people, protect the girls, protect the young boys. But you know, there has to be communication, continuous communication, as you've always said, YK, where in the market especially, don't touch anybody, don't harass. Sexual harassment is bad. These are the kind of communication we should have at market because it is very prevalent in our markets. Not just market, even crowded places.
And we have
crowded places.
We have iyolojas, we have babalojas, we have market leaders who gets stipends from these markets. It goes beyond saying you want to fix the market. It goes to saying that this is the kind of society I want my children to grow up in because we all have children. And this is this has been ongoing for years. I went to Yaba College of Technology. You don't go to Yaba wearing skirts because you know that they will touch everything touchable on your body in the name of trying to drag you in. And it is still going on till now. We live in a society where we crowd ourselves into buses. So you stand in the bus, you are holding, and somebody behind you is rubbing, and we don't decisive as a society fight this thing. There's a whole lot that can be done.
I'd like to invite our callers. You can call us on 081-270-5367. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourTVC. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I have another number for you, 091-390-76948. And I know it's going to be scrolled. So I'd like to hear from you because lots of young girls, especially the younger adults, go through this experience. And I'd like to take Blessing from Abuja. I'm told she's waiting on the line. Blessing, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Blessing, I can't hear you. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me now?
Okay, it's a bit far away, but we'll try to hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
My own advice to ladies, to girls, all these things, their parents should teach them how to learn how to taekwondo.
Yes.
They should teach them so that any man that touches them like that, they beat the hell out of that man.
Yes, I agree with you.
That is my advice. Parents should put their children in this taekwondo training school, whereby any man that touches them, they deal with that man very well.
Thank you.
They should not tolerate that. We are in a generation whereby people don't help now. So you try to look for what to help
Thank you.
Right.
That's my own advice to her.
Thank you very much, Madam Blessing. Really appreciate you. You know, the same way we give out rice to all the palliatives, give out pepper sprays to young people. In the market, you have your lodgers. Empower.
Pepper spray is not even allowed. That's why it's illegal.
And Oba actually gave it out during this issue. One of the Obas, Oba Oluo, he gave out quite a bit of
so
pepper spray.
They should ask him how he bought it in. It is illegal. They catch you with it.
Are you for real?
I'm for real.
Oh wow, I didn't know
I am
that.
for real. And that's why I don't understand that Minister of Defense that said we should defend ourselves, because I don't know whether it's our teeth.
We need to find it. Well, I don't know why.
Pepper spray should not be illegal.
Because actually it is done to protect mainly against rape. It is something that girls can use, sexual assault. It is what girls can use to protect themselves easily, because we might not. How many people, even if you know how to fight taekwondo, how many people will not fight? How would you punch someone?
Yes, they're stronger than you.
A man can overpower you easily. So it goes beyond it. For me, I still think a communal support, and I've said this thing before on the show years back, that there was a time where I grew up, there was a overhead bridge that I was supposed to take, and I'll cross the road. And one day I was about to cross the road, and my mom just called, "Don't cross the road." I was like, what just happened? Two people called her. Papa is about to cross the road again. She should take the bridge. That is the way we grew up. Everybody is looking out for you. If your child is going into somebody's house, don't go into that house. There are boys in that house. He's always going there. We would all do this. We raise ourselves. We can't let this happen.
You're right.
I'm fighting
what she's saying,
what
our caller was saying is that the world is changing, and there used to be a way where we raised our daughters, where you waited for your hero to rescue you. And she's just saying that, you know, and she's just saying that women should be raised differently now because of the different world that we have found ourselves in. Concerning that taekwondo, I know my husband is very impressed with my daughter doing that. And I know a few people, like NGOs that talk about gender-based violence, also teach self-defense classes to women. So it is important that we incorporate that into our schools and just teach young people, boys and girls, how to protect themselves.
Let me take Josephine. She's been holding for a while. Josephine, are you there?
Hello.
Thanks. You're live. Go ahead, please. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my first time calling in.
Welcome to the show, Josephine.
Right. Yeah, so I listened to your last caller, and I support the idea of training girls to be able to defend themselves. But if I take the example of Maria, what taekwondo would she have used to defend herself against 4 guys? So I really think we need to be our brothers' keepers, our sisters' keepers. It's so heartbreaking to see that that girl was going through that, crying, lamenting, and everybody was going about their business. So we need to really show more concern and empathy towards one another. And I would really appreciate if the authorities, in this case, fish out the culprit in this instance and use him as an example, as a deterrent. So other guys and men out there who think that a woman is just a thing, a piece of tool that you can touch anyhow. So it should be that way, and it should be publicized. So the same way you have featured this poor lady crying on TV, the man should be seen to be dealt with, and I think that would encourage other people from behaving in such a disrespectful manner.
Thank you very much.
That's my little contribution.
Thank you very much, Josephine. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so, I mean, YK said something that about pepper spray possibly being illegal. And if it is illegal, I think it's time for our House of Assembly leaders to look at this, to see how we can legalize it, such that we have to find ways to protect our young girls and even young boys. Because these days we hear that there are women grabbing boys from different corners. You never know what the nannies, you know, people that they know and all that. So we have to find ways to realize, to understand how important this girl, because if this girl looks like a strong young girl, but there's some girls that are not this strong, where they don't even have the boldness to make a video like this. And then they go and it breaks them. It breaks them.
This girl slapped and she lashed out. This girl,
not only was she strong, she didn't run away from the park. She stood there and made the video. That is strength. Because I would have thought, this place where they beat me, I will fly. Video, okay. I will fly away from that place. So she's brave. Not only strong.
What if the girl that is not brave? The girl who breaks,
what I'm saying.
Breaks.
That is what
I was.
And this, my brother's keeper. I remember once when I went to France when I was very, very young, I saw this young 13-year-old or 12-year-old boy smoking. And I was like, what? So I wanted to go and say, hey, come on, they don't do that here. I say, because in my country, if I see a 13-year-old, whether I know his family or not,
you tell him off.
I will go and meet him and say, will you drop that? And he dare not say a word.
No, my mom was like that.
That was Nigeria. That was the Nigeria of
them.
This is, I'm talking 20 years ago.
No, why can't you go that far?
Ago.
Just, I got married 10 years ago, like 15 years ago, my mom would see somebody somebody out in the area that is wearing black shirts, and my mom would say, remove it, wear your singlet, I'll buy you shirts. And the next day she will give the person money, because if you wear black shirts at night, if accidents happen, you are not seen. Like, we used to be like that. We used to feel like, this color, why would you wear color kinik on your head? Let me give you money. Cut the hair, do another one. You know, but like, we took ownership. We were building one another. And now we've become so isolated. Everybody fences, your fences are high. Nobody's facing anybody.
That isolation.
Now, I can take this call from
social media.
He's been holding for a while. Shegun from Ikoyi, thanks for calling. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the topic is a very interesting topic to me.
Okay.
And, hello?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Back there was a movie, one of the best Nigerian movies, 2018. The title is The Day of My Wedding. It's a much movie, just similar to what program is. This guy came from the UK, preparing for his wedding. The wife lives in Nigeria. The wife went to the Dumota market. It's a movie with the in-laws to buy our wedding material. Just like the way you see, these Dumota boys, Yoruba and Igbo boys started harassing the lady, touching her. They call her in the movie, she's Lagos color, lady's name. So the problem I want to say now is that it now turned to an issue that the in-laws are trying to protect the wife of their brother. They now start each other. For the serious case, they start each other. So the Idumota boys in this movie are gangs of armed robbers that sells materials. They just use that selling of materials as a cover. It's a movie. Go and watch this movie. Very popular movie, interesting.
Okay.
So they stop this wedding. These guys, they will need to pay back because they stabbed their own brother and they stabbed the lady's in-law. Both victims trying to take revenge. They now attended the same hospital. So what I'm trying to say now is that it's good we educate our society about harassment on ladies. Pedro Show Market, Idumota. They do these things a lot. And if you imagine, they follow this guy up to his wedding day to the church in the movie, just for them to pay a revenge.
Thank you very much for that, Shegun, because we should declare a state of emergency. I think the Commissioner of Women Affairs should declare that emergency within the sector to ensure. It's not just Lagos State. In Aba, we have this happening even where we have those in the cities, the major cities where we have big markets. It's very important.
The truth is, I'm 60 almost, and I was harassed at the markets when I was a young girl. I remember people touching you. Yes. You don't touch me. I don't know you. Why are you touching me? I don't touch you. So it has now, what has happened now, it has escalated from then to now.
Because nothing was done, YK.
Exactly.
Yes. Nothing was done
it has
then.
now become
almost a culture.
And yes, so it's become normal.
Yeah.
And it is not normal. And I was talking about social media. On social media, you will see, if I'm on social media at 60, a 20-year-old boy can just talk to me and say, you are an idiot.
Yes.
And your mother's mates. Can you tell your mother that? So they don't even have respect when they are talking to, whether it's their elder, why is this one opening her big mouth?
Yes.
You know, they do that.
Social media.
That is, they have thrown away their upbringing.
Really bad.
Nigerian. So I want to implore the young people, when you're on social media, just look at the age of the person you're talking to.
It's not even about the age. It's just also, right now there's just a widespread culture of disrespect. So even if there's no face to the name that you think you're engaging with, if you just know at the back of your mind or the front of your mind that everybody you engage with them respectfully. So it does not matter if it ends up that the person behind the name that you're talking to is much older or younger stronger. That is how we should address each other. And that shows, really, you're right, is the way we disrespect each other in real life that will carry it onto social media.
Let me take this call from Elizabeth. Elizabeth, are you there? Thanks for calling. Ooh, yeah, we lost that call. Oh, she's there?
Thank you for taking my call.
Elizabeth.
I just wanted to speak to
it's not so clear, Elizabeth. I'm trying to...
She has to turn down
her TV.
Can you hear? Elizabeth, are you there? Oh, please call her back. We really need to speak to Elizabeth. I mean, I had shared this experience before, you know, many years ago in an office. I mean, mine didn't happen in the market. It happened in an office. You know, a celebrity came to the office at the time, and the celebrity was this short, and I was taller than the celebrity. And it was almost as if he's never seen a woman before. I don't know. Because his head was at my chest level, he just touched me like that. I mean, I came in front of him, and he just touched me. And I froze. And people were there. My guy was there, everybody was there. And everybody froze, like, okay.
What's happening?
And things just went back to normal. And as much as I tried to make it, I spoke to my boss about it. I didn't like what he did. He said, listen, we're trying to get this guy to do something. You know, we can't find a way to just ease the whole thing out. And that really affected my person. I mean, I was a young worker. I was a young person at the time. And I didn't find it funny. I wasn't as strong as this young girl who has the capacity to just say, you know, I froze. Until now, I still remember that experience, and I still remember exactly what happened, and I wish I had spoken up.
So I think that generally people around, your colleagues at that time, boss should have spoken up. And as a society, we should stop playing lip service to protecting the weaker ones. What we do is place, every company has policies against sexual harassment. But how many people actually say that somebody is penalized for sexual harassment? We have somebody in TVC where she just came here. She's a makeup artist and she's now producing a show. Because of her shape, it was major in TVC. The harassment was, everybody was looking, they were taking pictures. It was like, she didn't want to walk downstairs. Why can you remember? She wouldn't walk downstairs alone because she felt everybody was just always looking at her. And we allow it. So, but we shouldn't just...
But you can't blame them, Sha.
She's big.
We should not excuse it. Let's not excuse it.
No. I mean, they can't just have boy admire her.
So,
nobody was touching her.
Wasn't harassed. Yes, but we're looking, yes.
Is there a sin in looking?
No, there's no sin in looking.
Look with respect. Look with
respect.
You look and glance away.
I'm a woman, I used to look.
No.
But what I'm saying, please let me land this point.
Don't bring her into the...
No, let me land the point.
What I'm saying,
where I'm going to...
Please let me land the point. Where I'm going to is that when we... What I'm going to is that when we accept and we don't comment, because at the point we had to comment, people commented, they actually discussed it and then it reduced. So when we talk about things, we are able to address the issue. Things human beings would look, it's normal. Human beings will look and then they want to touch. It's normal. But when we realize that you are invading somebody else's space and affecting the person's self-esteem, we must discuss it. So it was discussed here and it was dealt with.
Which has been holding from Abalende. Richard, are you still there? Oh, I'm so sorry. We need to call these guys back because I really want to hear their thoughts this morning.
Okay, so I was just going to go to your point about paying lip service to protecting people who are assaulted. And you're right, because I know someone who, when she served, she was harassed by her boss. She was there for her NYSC, and they had night duty. And of course, they used most of the coppers for night duty. And he would come in and he would first place his hands on her shoulder and knead her shoulder. You know, she would be uncomfortable and tell him off. And I know this person, naturally, she would not take any nonsense. She would throw it and tell you off. And she does not care whoever you are, whether you are the boss or whoever it is. But people like that, I find, get into trouble. The fact that you have the audacity to stand up for your right and talk to someone who is supposed to be your boss, even though that person is clearly wrong and you're in the right, people like that get moved away from there, from the jobs, or they'll move you to another office, another branch, away from the person, the perpetrator of the crime. Meanwhile, that person carries the shoulder and does it to the next person, does it to the next person. You would hear office gossip like, oh, that's how he is. But nobody will do anything concrete about it.
Let me take Samuel from Songo. Samuel, are you there? Morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Welcome to the show.
The issue of these molesting women is very, very bad. Like, it do happen to men too. Like me, I'm the type that has a big shirt from the back. So I was working with an Indian company some time ago, and anytime I'm passing, they will just grab my boots and say that I'm like a lady. So something like that normally affects people, and it's very bad. We need the Nigerian government to really work on it.
Thank you very much.
That's my view.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel.
I didn't really get the point.
Yeah, so he's also talking about how women harass him and grab his behind. But the thing is, that's the conversation a lot of us, when we hear men say that they were harassed or touched, we laugh about it. Like, he must have enjoyed. Yes, he must have enjoyed it. He must have, like, lucky you are getting that kind of attention. But it's just as bad.
But you know, there are men that have butts. They have have butts, and they have some kind of flesh on their chest, and those kind of people get harassed. People touch their bum, touch their chest. Like, you're a woman. Go and wear bra. So those things hurt, especially a young teenager. You do that to a teenager, it affects his entire psyche. So these are little things we take for granted. You don't be man. See how your bum just shake. I mean, those little things you say that when you know it becomes,
and it affects. That's what we don't understand. When you do that, you are affecting in the long run.
That subconscious mind after like
what happens is they enter either depression or they become just bad people because they have been so undermined.
Well, I can tell you how it affected me. Apart from those boys, it's happened to me many times. You know, young men will just come up to you, and you're a young girl growing up, and probably you're just, budding. And many times, I remember sitting with one of my friends and I said to her that, do I have prostitutes written? Because for me, I just thought that there's some people who were born to be prostitutes and that men would look at them a certain way. So I thought that there must be something about me that attracted men in that way. And I did not have, how our Nigerian parents are. There are some subjects that just you don't talk about them. So I did not know to go to my mother to say I was being harassed because I already felt it was my fault, that there was something about me that made them. There was something, and I was so skinny and whatever. It just tells you the mind of man.
I have a call, I believe. Wale from Oshun, thanks for calling. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Morayo, and every other one. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to comment on the issue you are discussing this morning.
Yes, please.
You see, one of the challenges that we are having is not about the ladies alone. The general...
Wale, are you still there?
I'm here.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the challenges we have is that, like you were discussing the other time, that we don't really be our brother's keeper anymore and the likes like that. When you see people, in those days when we were growing up, we can go to neighbor's house, relatives, and every other person. We relate with them freely. But nowadays, you yourself, you need to cut it. That no, don't go to that person because everybody is it. People don't tend to defend one another in the society anymore. And we have several organizations in the country where if functioning, do they really orientate?
Okay. We need so.
There are loads of tweets. Mike Davidson, keep slapping until you will get killed. I will not advise any woman to be engaging men in combat. I condemn every harassment against women, but I'm against physical confrontation. Culprits can be identified, arrested, and prosecuted. We have lost many women to this confrontation. Joseph Shei says this harassment has to stop. It's so prevalent. Our girls should have pepper spray. The people can ignore if someone stole. Now we'll be back to beat, but we look out for each other. Billy Case, at Miriam Longe, we have paid lip service to this matter for too long. It's an assault, it's sexist, and a human rights violation. It's unacceptable. There should be prosecution for this abuse. Effium Antigua, you want to go on?
Yeah, Wardrobe MD says, good morning, ladies. Like Ryo said, an awareness should be done in form of jingles to inform these young guys that molesting is a crime and it is a punishable offense. This awareness should be done always. It can maybe reduce the rate of rape and harassment in Nigeria.
We have to wrap on this, but thank you very much, ladies. And our hearts go out to that girl, and we just want to let you know that you're very bold, as like you said, confident girl, and we just hope that this experience will not change the confidence you have in yourself. I mean, this is a girl that seemed to be strong and has good home training. I mean, her mother was sending her on an errand, so she was actually doing exactly what her mother wanted her to do. So we just hope that this experience happened because they are the bad people, not you. You are a good person, and you do not deserve it. You do not deserve to be harassed and touched that way. But we wish you all the best. That's all we can take on this. When we come back, we'll move on to another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we continue our conversation on COVID, the impact of coronavirus in Nigeria. Oftentimes, many Nigerians have questioned the lifestyle of our leaders as it contradicts the stipulated guidelines put down to combat the virus. Now, you can join the conversation on 081-270-53687. You can also call us on 091-390-67948 or tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag TVC so we can read your tweets. Now, this conversation was important because in recent times, many people, not just Nigerians, but also politicians, have thrown caution to the wind where they organize rallies, events, parties. You know, we hear that Lagos State actually went clamping down on certain parties in the last few weeks. Whilst that is happening, politicians are also out there doing, having all sort of constituency parties or projects, awareness, you know, and you wonder, okay, are you playing with another rule while we are being asked to obey certain other rules? Where do we draw the line between what is right and what is not wrong, especially on which side of the divide you are on? Because, I mean, there are examples we have, we had seen many times back, the issues at the NIN. There was the Oba Oniru's coronation, the burial of Ali Modu Sharif's father, you know, a few other burials that happened, and even just last weekend, I think one of our politicians in Lagos State also had some constituency political rally, you know, where there were lots of people there. I mean, when I watched it, they didn't wear a mask. I saw it and I'm like, hey, in this Lagos, it can't be Lagos. It can't be Governor Sanwo-Olu's Lagos. Maybe it's a different Lagos because there's no way that could have happened in the same Lagos State.
You see, let me tell you, it's, for me, personally, it's very painful because our businesses have been closed. You can't open, you will let you open your bar, but you can't have a concert. Even if you promise, oh, I'm going to have social distancing, I will distance, they'll say, no, you can't.
Completely.
But then you now turn around, one of you will now have a rally. And nobody is wearing mask. Nobody is social distancing. And you are there with your mask. And then, so it's one rule for you and another for us. So I find it very, that's why I don't normally retweet tweets, but the pain that I felt, because they will now come and meet you to pay your tax. Your business has been closed. They will come and meet you to pay your tax.
Shrine has closed, right? Right?
Yeah, they've been closed.
They
are not concerts for how many months?
And we have the celebration every year. That has been totally drastically reduced because now we have to do virtual last year.
We have to do virtual
last year.
Now you are having a rally. Are you not supposed to be leading by example? So what is protecting these people? What is protecting these people? Should he not be arrested for violating the COVID-19 rules?
The political leader, at the party members, at the campaign people that were singing and following him, every one of them, because we know what the rule says. I was on this show, we announced that we have a rule that says that you have 6 months in prison if you're found outside in a crowd without your nose mask. That 6 months in prison should be implemented. The fines should be implemented. Nobody is above the law. This is what causes distrust of government. We don't trust the government because they are hypocritical. You will tell me to tighten my belt, I should suffer for this country, and you are not suffering. You will tell me that I should bear the brunt of challenges of the hospitals, that we don't have money to pay minimum wage, but you are living large. You say I should wear nose mask. It's uncomfortable. I'm wearing it. But you are having campaign and you're not wearing nose mask. And you have a right to tell me you will imprison me. But what are you saying?
You see, that's the point. Thank you for taking us there. Because we are here trying to rebuild everybody has had that loss.
Many
Nigerians don't believe. And we're trying to say, you know what, Nigerians, let us believe. Let's give this government a chance. Let's give them a chance. Let's see how we can even talk to each other, young people. Okay, they've goofed for the past 20x amount of years. Fine, let us rebuild. In rebuilding, we need to show you that you must lead by example. Practice only that which you preach. Exactly. When we see you do that, then we say, okay, maybe because they are doing it, let us to maybe realign. But when you see you go in the opposite direction, you now come tomorrow and say, we want to we tax you. Come and pay me your taxes, and I will do this. I will not listen.
People at Lekki Toll Bridge, you packed all of them into a vehicle. Like you are. What are we saying? It is all shades of.
Then you had the guts to go and do COVID-19 tests for them. Are you not the one that gave them COVID-19 by putting them inside a Black Maria?
Yes, I mean, Mariam.
So concerning this particular rally that took place, I think that the governor of the state can separate himself from what happened. He can call for the arrest of the person that led this rally. He can show, and also all the campaign people that were involved in it, so that we can say that the governor was not part of what happened. This was a violation of the guidelines that the governor had put in place for his state. Until then we know that you are in cahoots with these people, and that they are all in this thing together. Because many times when we talk to leaders, they point fingers at each other. Well, we're the legislative, we're not the executive. Oh, we're the judiciary, we're not that. Everybody's just pointing hands. So even regular citizens have no one to catch on to. So now I'm just saying it to our governor. This is what has happened. Let us see how
maybe COVID has gone. We don't know. They've not told us.
We're talking about
I wish that was the case. Because I'm assuming it is the case. The only problem is I was listening to the news this morning, and they said the curfew is from 12 till 4. If you are found violating the curfew, and everybody violates the curfew.
Okay, let me go on a break. We'll be right back.
They all violate it.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, based on what happened at this rally, so we saw the politicians on stage. They had on their face masks, no doubt about that. So they protected themselves. The issue was the crowd was, first of all, beyond the 50 capacity that we're told. You can't have more than 50 people. Even in churches, there's space out. Yeah. So the churches are asked to do that. At rallies, we should have done it such that you make spaces for people to stay. Okay, you two stay together, maybe husband and wife stay here. There's a way you do it such that we know that you complied. Even when those that now had face masks in the crowd, now had it on their chin.
Did you see how Biden had his own rallies? Everybody stayed in their cars. So, and when they wanted to answer, they used their blue.
They don't have cars. Nigeria have WhatsApp. We have bicycles. Some people, they don't know what we are saying. You cannot understand.
I won't call for the video because the truth is that we've seen this kind of rallies. It's not just that political rally. We've just seen NIN registration. We've seen the burials that we've had. Abba Kyari's burial, we're all there. We saw it. It's beyond showing the video. It's the fact that we've painted that picture where the people come and they have their face masks on their chin. And that is not wearing face masks. So you are protected as a politician on stage. But the people out there
you're not even protected because even though they were wearing face masks, they were not complying with the social distancing. And the guideline says social distancing, face mask, washing of your hands at the different points where they're washing their hands.
Miriam, I just want to help Mariah out here. That even if they were wearing a face mask, what did we just say here now? The topic before, protect your brother. Be your brother's keeper. Are they their brother's keepers? No. So they're not their brother's keepers because they are protecting themselves and they are watching all their brothers.
So for me, if any COVID-19 task force in Lagos arrest anybody without prosecuting these ones that we have video evidence, it's purely hypocritical and it's wrong.
Is an event.
And I remember what Funke Akindele went through, and she was dragged. She was taken to. She did community service. We make public show.
I would like to see this in their community service.
People so that we speak with one voice.
It goes to the issue of planning. I mean, the event planners doing these things now. We leave these rallies to just anybody. But there are ways of where you come in, first of all, you register. As you register, you get a handband. Okay, you are staying in blue, you are staying in red. Everywhere is color. So you stay in your color boxes. You stay where you are color. They space them out. Now, once we are up to capacity, sorry, the rest of you go home. We are social distancing. Unfortunately, you can't, there are ways of doing this thing. It has to be deliberate and planned.
I don't understand. Morayo, you are teaching these people what they tell us every day.
And they are our leaders.
So, you know, the conversation that I do not like to have is that every time when we sit down, then we start telling them, you should have done this. They know. They tell us what to do. They list it out. They explain to us 1, 2, 3. And if you don't do it, 6 months in jail.
You don't allow me to
So what are we saying to them?
You don't allow me to
advising them.
concerts. I will social distance. I will make sure that everywhere is social distance. But it's not allowed. But you, that you are not allowing it, you are doing.
Yes, now.
Political
you could have easily done celebration. Because that's exactly that crowd we saw is celebration crowd right there. You could have easily done celebration.
I complain about the Street of Shrine. That one is from midnight to 11 p.m. till they go home. When I call them, I say, come, it's not us, because next thing you come and close us, that we're the people, it's not us. Only it's shrine.
Imagine.
It's shrine. I said, no, it's not our shrine. Please.
They're done. The people are outside.
And
our gates are closed by 11:30.
And people do their business on that street.
So when you want to come and make your show, because they're going to want to make me, the scapegoat.
Face the right people.
Face the right people. Why is it they cannot implement? If you say there's curfew 12 midnight to 4 a.m., implement it. Don't let some of us suffer. You think I don't want to go out at midnight?
Yes, no.
I don't know where I'm going, Shao, because there should be nowhere to go at midnight.
You think we don't want to go and go clubbing?
But we still have COVID.
Yes.
There's still COVID, and we're still struggling economically. We're just 0.11% out of recession, and we're struggling to see how we will bring in 4 million doses of the vaccine. So we are struggling to manage the crisis, and then we cannot have people at the helms of power being the ones that will seem to not be complying with the rules they are forcing us to comply with. So I feel that the governor, Mariam said it, the governor needs to separate himself from these people. You might be in the same party, you might be in the same government, but if you don't have the same values, you speak up for yourself. If not, we will rubbish all of you. Because social media will rubbish all of you together, that you are all together in this.
So I think also these people need to use technology properly, because there are ways you can. You see, I know APC right now is campaigning for people to go and register. We saw Governor, is it Kwara or Kogi State Governor, did an advert, go and register. If the objective is to get people to mobilize, right, to go and register, there are ways of sending messages out. The various leaders, tell your people, go and register. Groups. You don't have to call a rally.
Go to their office.
Objective.
Door campaign.
Please go and register. There are different ways of doing this.
Carry your registration form to the door. Oh yeah, Oga, register. They will register. Why are you endangering all of us and making all of us?
And the thing is, for someone who has politicians all around, I have politicians all around. My cousin is a politician. My mom was a member. I know how these things work. The crowds, as much as they love you, we don't just gather. Nigerians, we don't just gather like that. For us to gather, there are incentives. And there are incentives for the gathering, and there's somebody canvassing people to come. We are going to this man's house, so I just wonder why am I not calling this person's name? We are going to this man's house on Thursday, where everybody, this is the time we are going there. This is what they are going to do for you. Everybody will gather and we go there. So there are people that do the canvassing, that bring them together. Everyone should be made responsible. And the person, the liable person, cannot say he does not know. I'll post it on my Instagram page if you want to know the video.
The point is, see, the reason why we didn't want to focus on that, because it's not just him. There's so many of them doing the same thing. So instead of focusing on this person, we're saying all politicians, this is an important example to rephrase and to remind our Nigerian leaders that you must lead by example. Because if you want Nigerians to follow you wholeheartedly, where we know that these people are taking us to the promised land, we must see that you're speaking what you are saying. I mean, you are doing what you are speaking. Yes. You know, when we see that, then we might begin to say, okay, maybe there's a semblance of truthfulness coming from these leaders.
If we cannot trust you, if we cannot trust you, following guidelines.
Yes, I say not as I do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Mr. Adebayo says we have a government.
Some of them, they will go and do vaccine. Then they will take their picture. They will take their picture and say, I have done my vaccine. You are going to America to do your vaccine. They are telling me you are bringing 4 million vaccine into Nigeria.
Yeah, that's a different issue.
It's
right?
not different. It's not the same thing.
Let's take tweets.
All of them have done vaccine. We are waiting here.
And
then they are endangering our life because those people will come and work for me. Those people will come and do work in my house.
Yes.
That's another point.
There's ecology, the ecological effect.
Let's take a few. We have to wrap up.
Mr. Adebayo says we have a government not sincere with people and people who aren't responsive in holding government to account.
Yes.
We live in a chaotic Nigeria where nobody sends anybody. Vic Adeyemo says YK is speaking the truth to power. Then tagged all of us are speaking truth to power, bringing to fore the hypocritical practice of our leaders and alleging double standard. Our governments change for good and change and be responsible. Then Rolake says the society has generated to mind your business because people are often tend to stand up for others, were chastised by the law. Great people like Fela, Ken Sarubiwa, NSAS protesters, and etc. Laws are oppressing people.
We have
there are many more talking about it.
But I think...
Sorry, I just heard on the radio this morning that 1 in 5 people test positive in Nigeria.
Where did they get that from?
I don't know. It was in the newspaper. I didn't see it in the newspaper. But
no, we don't have that data.
I was listening to the newspaper review, and they read it direct from the paper. They did it. They said they even said it was the PTA that said so that 1 in 5 people
really? I didn't read it.
Not test positive, have COVID.
Yeah.
That's why 1 in 5 people have COVID.
Well,
because
okay, we don't have that. Let's be sure. I don't want us to, because our show is quite popular. I don't want people to say, 1 in 5 you. Let us be very sure. Let's verify.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Really,
okay, this is the 5th person that we have. Cameraman, now you get her.
So we have to run. But I think if there's anything, because I know very soon our politicians start calling my number. How can you? The reason for this conversation is for Nigerians to understand that our leaders must lead by example.
Yeah, community service.
It's important that our objective is to ensure that Nigerians get the message of COVID-19. Yeah. We want them to wear our face masks. We wear our face masks every single time. We ensure that we spaced out here just so that we can have a show, a show for our people. The point is that if you're going to insist that Nigerians abide by the COVID principles and guidelines, please, as a leader, do exactly the same thing. There's no way anytime our governor has a press briefing, there's social distancing. People behind him, they space out. He has on his masks. He's leading by example, but every other arm of government must do exactly as he's doing.
100%.
So we must see other leaders doing it, following the lead, and we also follow. But you cannot be going right and somebody else going left and somebody's going right there. It doesn't make any sense.
The COVID governor, I complained about that one too.
It's just go for community service.
That's what we can take. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.